This is Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We're joined by Rocky Chavez, member of the California State Assembly. And sir, as you know, on the Senate side, the pro tem is pushing SB 350, which would even increase more the targets for renewables off of AB 32. He's looking to push that to 50% renewables by 2030. Right now, we're at 33%. What do you make of that, sir?
Well, I think it's a laudable goal. As you know, just not the United States, but if you look at the world, especially in the Middle East, climate change is a real issue. As I was talking to people the other day, the commander-in-chief of the Pacific, Navy Commander, 4-star, one of his greatest threats in the Pacific Theater is sea rise.
Wow.
So the issue that there's not a climate change going on, I think, is a false argument.
And let's talk about that. You are a member of the Republican caucus.
Yes.
And not, some in California, but often in other states, many of your Republican colleagues would disagree with that. They're not ready to say climate change is a real issue.
And that's true, but and they have their own reasons for doing that.
Right.
But as I tell people, if you would imagine in the industrial age where oil drove the standards and the economies of the world, across the world to develop it, if we could capture the new energy sources for the next century, and I think it's going to be solar, it's going to be wind, it's going to be a lot of different energy sources, we could actually be the innovator of energy for the world for the next century.
So despite climate change, it's still what you're saying is good policy.
It's a good policy to still go for it. Not that you don't value fossil fuels, but they need to be part of the portfolio.
Right. Let's talk, though, about one area of clean energy. I'll call it clean energy, and that's hydro. We know that solar is preferred when you look at state legislation, wind is preferred, but hydro seems to have gotten lost. What's going on there?
Well, hydro was taken out of the RPS, and as I said about the SB 350, because they need votes, I said, if you're willing to look at hydro again, then I'm willing to start the discussion, because I think hydro is a very clean source. It's been there for a while. With our technologies, we can address the needs of the environmental community. In my district, with the desalination plant going in
Carlsbad, yes.
They're using solar and hydro to produce energy for their plant. And so hydro really could be a game player.
Can I digress for a second and talk about that Carlsbad plant? Sir, this is the largest desal plant in the Western Hemisphere. That's in your district. How excited are your constituents, our local businesses, to be really on the cutting edge of a technology that 5 years ago when they were thinking of building it, had no idea it would become, the technology?
When I got elected in 2002, I got my first brief on the desal plant there. And they were joking around the other day. It took almost, 15 years of planning and 3 years to build. We need to shorten down that planning discussion. But now that we've done it, that template can be used across the state to put additional plants.
And as you know, your friends in Santa Barbara are looking to put a plant back online. There's a plant in Cambria, Long Beach, Huntington Beach. I mean, this really is the wave of the future. So explain for us further how hydro and desal connect.
Well, hydro, because desal takes a lot of energy.
Right.
It takes a lot of energy. And so what they're doing is with solar energy, they're taking their current water and they're pumping it up to a higher level in their retention basins, and then later on, when the sun goes down, they're using the water to come back and provide more energy to it.
So it all comes together.
It all comes together.
Are your friends who are pushing SB 350 willing to really discuss hydro and put that into the calculation?
People who come in talk to me from the lobbyist side or say we're open for discussion, but I haven't had one Democrat politician come to my office.
What's the problem? What's the concern?
There's probably a lot of reasons, but probably one that is pretty evident. But the other thing is, I told them we need to look at the ability to build energy sources outside of the boundaries of California, like solar in Arizona.
You'll come back?
I'll come back.
He is Rocky Chavez, member of the California State Assembly. I'm Brad Pomerance. This is Local Edition.